Everyone, welcome to Mittman's Main Street Pub for the Eagle Lunch Hour. We're going to start with football head coach Jody Ford. Jody, Central Methodist scored a 32-7 victory over Culver Stockton last Saturday, improving their record to 2-2 overall and within the Heart of America Athletic Conference. First, your overall thoughts on the game?
Just really proud of the second half. I think, special teams wise, we had guys that were really finally getting down the field on kickoff, and we're able to, pin them inside their own 25 and sometimes own 20. And that was really big in the second half, because the first half we never really could get the field position that we wanted. The whole second half, our kickoff team did a great job getting down there. Freshman Ethan Epperson from Neosho High School. Ethan had a great game on special teams, running down. I thought he was really one of the most valuable players of the game just on special teams and getting down there. And then defensively in the second half, we made a lot of adjustments at halftime that allowed us to have some success in the second half and allowed us to get a lot of 3 and outs so that our offense could get a short field and move the ball. And our offense did a great job taking advantage of the short field and did some really good things with that. So really proud of the guys, especially the second half. We got to do a better job not coming out sluggish in the first half and get going right off the bus.
As you said, you made defensive adjustments into the second half as the offense outscored the Wildcats 22-0. Talk a little bit about those adjustments and how they were able to help you in the last 30 minutes of the game.
Well, some of it was just creating matchups within our defense. I mean, trying to get Trevor Robinson locked up where we want him locked up, and giving him a lot of one-on-one matchups. Trying to get him on a back, and then we started getting a tackle kicking out on Trevor. So then we were able to loosen up Connor White on a blitz inside of him, and then we started getting Connor on the back, or if the back decided to release, you get Connor free, and that was great because Connor started to get some hits on the quarterback, and we didn't sack him as much as we wanted to, but we were able to pressure him a lot, and that was really key to us getting them in long yardage and getting off the field on third down. So we really worked on the 5-man pressures and the 6-man pressures that we wanted to bring. Coach Gary Baker and Coach Derek Lanigan were really helpful in making adjustments at halftime and things that we did with our defensive line and with our linebackers, and it really helped out a lot. Also, just having the information that our guys are writing down and reporting to me. I mean, Ryan Cran and Brett Fitzpatrick, they're always writing during the course of the game, and they gave me a lot of information from the first half that helped me make some decisions in the second half, as did the information I was getting from Coach Lanigan and Coach Baker. So very helpful. Coach Paredes and Coach Spearman were also awesome in getting the pass coverage down with the linebackers and what we need to do. And just the second half, we were able to create the matchups we wanted and be able to create the down distances we wanted to be successful.
Central Methodist used 2 quarterbacks in the game, Jacob Jackson and Skylar Jacobson. Talk a little bit about their play.
The first drive, Jacob did a great job delivering the football. He had a big pass just on the first play of the game, and he got us down there, delivered it to Cody Mayer on a big pass, and then getting the ball in the end zone there. And that's something we really struggled at in the short yardage and medium yardage game. The guys did a real nice job with that. And I tell you, Coach Borland, our quarterback coach, it's been such a riot of the first 4 games because he hasn't had a chance to work with the same quarterback yet. In the first 3 games, in practice, we've had a different quarterback every game so far. So was really pleased with the guys. I mean, Jacob came out and started hot. He had a little struggle with some of the reads we were doing by the middle of the game, and we started having a couple turnovers with some misreads and different things. And so we went to Skylar, and Skylar came in and executed really well, took care of the football, then turned it over and helped us move it, and just was really proud of both those guys. But neither one of them have a ton of experience, and so that's where we've got to continue to work hard to get them the experience they need so we can be successful down the stretch.
In the second quarter, place kicker Ezekiel Rivera tied the school record with a 55-yard made field goal. That kick was the first made field goal of the season. That actually happens to be the longest made field goal in the NAI this year. That kick ultimately proved to be the game winner. What went through your mind after the kick bounced over the crossbar, and what did you see out of Culver Stockton's reaction to his made kick?
Well, my thought process, I mean, as soon as we hit the 38-yard line, we're in Zeke's territory. And if the ball's on the 38, the first thing I always tell the quarterbacks is don't take a sack. If we're throwing the ball, make sure you don't get sacked. Because once we hit the 38 and in, we're in his range. And that's where he's got a shot to give us 3 points there. So really proud of him. But once we got into his range, he came out. And he'd been struggling, I mean, the Baker game was a tough one for him. we had him attempt 2 really long kicks in the Baker game the week before, and he missed both of those. And he was, the greatest thing is the hardest critic on Ezekiel is himself. I mean, he really is very hard on himself and how he wants to get things done. And he had a great week of practice. He really challenged himself and worked hard, and had some opportunities for him this Saturday, and he took advantage of them and did a really nice job. So he's still working on his consistency, but that was a big kick that he made. And then in terms of momentum, it really helped us get some momentum before halftime, put us up 3 going into half at 10-7. It was definitely a big kick on both sides, and really was a huge play in the first half where we were struggling.
For his effort, he was named the Heart of America Athletic Conference Special Teams Player of the Week. Your thoughts on that accolade?
Well deserved. I mean, anybody that works as hard as he does and takes as much pride in it, I mean, that's a big deal to him. And if you ask Zeke, as hard as he works, he takes pride in that. He'd like to win that thing every week, and he would like to be that good, and he really has the ability to be that good. So we really like what he's doing, and also, Coach Bongard, special teams coach Sean Bongard, does such a good job with the kickers and the punters. I mean, Eric Rhodes doing a great job punting the football as well. And of course, Ezekiel, getting Ezekiel back on track. So I really want to thank Coach Bongard as well, and Zeke for all the work they're putting into practice. And we go back to work again, and hopefully we'll have some big ones this week too.
You look at your team's offensive performance. Central Methodist outrushed Culver Stockton 327 to 23, and had 21 first downs in the game compared to only 8. Talk a little bit about the play of your running backs, your backup quarterbacks, and especially your offensive line that did a great job paving the holes.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they really have done a good job up there. And that's the thing. You never know what looks you're going to get. So, Coach Stevens and Coach Beatty do a real nice job with the offensive line and get things going. And Coach Haynes does a real nice job with the offense and with the running backs as well. And just do a really nice job. And really pleased with how Burt ran the football again. And Seth had a nice game. And Cody Mayer had some nice runs in there. And Rennie Reese came through with some big plays. Rennie had a little injury, but I think he's going to be back and get going. And of course, Cleve Perriman doing what he does. But the offensive line, I mean, the left side with Bo Amos and Jacob Spadden. And also, I don't think people realize, our starting center is out for the year as well in Blaze Perot. So we have a freshman playing center right now, Max Hotelling. That's been a big deal. You think about right up the middle. We have 2 new quarterbacks and a new center. And also Brian Tate is also playing center for us, so we've been looking at both those guys and getting them a lot of work. And then obviously on the right side with Michael Tabaga and Cody Davis, those guys have really done a nice job over there, and Cody being a senior. And so been really pleased with how they're doing within the running game, and that has to continue for us to be successful. And then also the wide receivers, a lot of people forget about those guys sometimes because they're not catching the football. But our receivers can dominate a game without ever touching the ball with the blocks that they make. And I tell you, those guys make some great blocks on the outside of the screen. Those guys for some big runs, and just really proud of how they're going about their business and how they're doing things.
Looking ahead to Lindenwood Belleville, this is his first season of varsity football for the Lynx, with the kickoff coming in Belleville, Illinois on Saturday. Talk a little bit about what you've seen from them offensively and defensively through their first 4 games.
No, they're scary. I mean, they're fast. I mean, their defense is very fast and can really do some things. And so, we have to do a good job of ball security and take care of the football. That's really important because they have some very good athletes defensively. Offensively, they have a quarterback that can flat out fly. I mean, he'll drop back to pass, and then all of a sudden he takes off. And you really got to keep people on him at all times. They have a couple of receivers that can get loose, and they have a tailback that can get loose. So they definitely have a very fast team there in Belleville, and it's definitely going to be a monster challenge for us, and keeping the ball from flying over our head and taking care of the run game, and then also take care of the football and not turning it over. And but it'll be a tough game at their place, and we're going to have to go down and play well to be able to pull this thing out, and it's a great challenge.
They made national headlines earlier this season because they have a unique field with the red and white design. Talk a little bit about that, and do you think that'll have any kind of impact on the game?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just kind of a fun thing, and you think about when you talk about Boise State, and you think about the blue turf that they have there, and you look at Lindenwood Belleville, and they'll be identified with this type of turf and the color that they have. A lot of my good friends in coaching, they're old school coaches. They'd much rather there's mud and grass and getting dirty and all that stuff. So I think a lot of my friends, they kind of smirk at the whole turf and even our own turf and everything. But that's the way the game is nowadays. It's evolving to where it's a turf game, and in terms of budgets and those things, and being able to play a lot of games on turf. But I don't, that's pretty neat that they were able to design that and develop that with their school colors, and it's something that people always identify them with, similar to how Boise State is. But for our players, there's a little bit of a change. They look at the film, and we play a lot of pranks on our team. I mean, people don't realize this, but behind the scenes, we really prank each other a lot. And it's a lot of fun with our kids and in our offices and things. And so when we turned on the tape, the kids thought that I was messing around with the colors on the machine and everything. They already tease me anyway because we still watch VCR tapes, and they just think that's hilarious. But the DVDs never work when I run them, so that's why we still use the VCR. But at the same time, they thought I was messing with them with the color of the field and everything. I said, no, guys, this is the actual color. This is what it is. And so I don't think it'll play a major role. It was definitely interesting to have some fun with them this past week. But I think it's a fun thing. It's different, and it'll be something I think they'll all enjoy.
Thank you very much, and the best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.